My wife has a lot of bearing on the children too. She is always following their activities and offering advice. She is always also sending inputs to some of the things that they are trying to do, especially in academic things. She is always also there, even providing financial support in certain cases. So it has been a very good partnership. It has been a very good partnership. And one thing that I would like to say is that
we have lost Professor Bedu again. All right, so perhaps we are trying to wait for him to reconnect. Bernard, can you please unmute yourself and give us your question? Bernard, your hand is up. Can you please unmute and give us your question or comment? All right, let's move on to Bright Abugla. Please unmute yourself and give us your question or your comment.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. So I dropped the question in the chat and I thought you might want to read it, but then thank you for the opportunity. And thanks to our esteemed panelists for the inspiring, what they are sharing with us, which is very inspiring. I have two questions. I'll just try and connect them together. So my first question to all of them is to know what motivated them to seek appointment as a university librarian, and what advice would they offer to younger and aspiring librarians who might feel that it's becoming very difficult to succeed or grow professionally in the LIS field. I'd like to hear their thoughts on this too. Thank you.
All right, so we'll start off with Mr. Insa Mensah. Please, were you able to hear their questions and your comments?
Yes, please. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. With the first question, well, you didn't give me space to comment on the previous.
Oh, yes, sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Well, with the first question, first one, let me say that my wife is also a professional woman. She's a research scientist. And when we got married, we gave each other the space to pursue one's career. So in the upbringing of the children, hello?
Yeah, probably can hear you. Please go ahead.
In the upbringing of the children, we agreed on Saturdays, for example, I happen to be a hockey player. So on Saturdays, I'll take the children to the national hockey pitch so that she'll be free to do whatever she has to do. The children enjoyed themselves. They met other colleagues who had also brought their children. And in so doing, they were able to make friends. We made sure that we made sure that at least we give ourselves the space and supported one another. Since our professional career depended on publications, we made sure that we served as each other's editor. She will be the last person to read any paper that I submit for publication. And I always took her comments into consideration. And with my science background, I also read all the papers that she published. With the motivation, what motivated me to seek the position of university librarian, I must say that when the position became vacant. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. We can hear you.
When the position became vacant, there was a search team put together to headhunt, and that team was led by the Pro Vice Chancellor and the Registrar. And they came to me at CSR. At that time, I was then the director of CSR Institute, and I had finished my first 5-year contract and signed a new one. That was in 2003. So when they came, I told them that they were late. I've renewed my contract, so they should look for somebody else. When I finish my contract and the position is still vacant, I'll come. And that is what happened in 2008 when they advertised for that position. I remember my senior brother, Mr. Intri, looked at the advert and called me and said, Clement, as for this job, it's you they are looking for. You meet all their basic requirements. So you put in your application for that. Then I told him that the team that headhunted me had already requested for my application and I've submitted it. So some of these things, the motivation is there, but again, the institution that is looking for your services may also have you and somebody else in mind, and may encourage you to apply for the position and be interviewed. So that is that.
Thank you very much. Ms. Entry, please, your comments. Yeah, you can be heard now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Right. I started my professional career at the BAM Library in 1977. Then I went to Nigeria 1981 and joined Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Library as an assistant librarian.
Okay.
Within 8 years, I had risen and promoted to the rank of deputy university librarian. Let me put on record that the university librarian of that university
That's what I wanted to
taught me at the library school level. So both Professor Alena and myself were students. So when he went to Bauchi, he invited me to be there. And he mentored me and gave me all the support. So when I became the deputy university librarian, I realized that they were setting up a new university up north. So I said to myself, if I return to Ghana, God willing, I'll be the university librarian. So I left 1989, joined UCC 1990, thereabout. I was there when the foundation or pioneer vice chancellor of UDS, Professor Benny, came to see my vice chancellor, Professor Ajapong, that he had heard of me and thought I could be a suitable university librarian for UDS. So the two vice chancellors called me. I asked for time to think about it. Then I decided I was interested. So I was advised to apply for secondment. And I was seconded to UDS in May 1993. And then eventually I was confirmed as a university librarian in 1995. So it was a combination of hard work and goodwill from Professor Benin and Professor Ajapo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Bedu, please, did you hear?
What was the question? because I was off.
Yes. Bright is here. Bright, please could you repeat the second part of your question for Professor Badu? Bright.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So the question was two-pronged. I wanted to know what motivated you to take up the position of the university librarian, and also what advice you had for younger or aspiring librarians who might feel that it's more challenging to grow professionally in the LIC field now. Those were the two questions.
Okay. You said what motivated me. To be honest with you, I was not motivated by anything. I did not like the job. You know, I contested for the vice chancellor's position and I lost. So all along, as I was developing in the university setup, I had wanted to be vice chancellor. I didn't want to be a librarian. However, what happened was that, so I'm going to tell you how I became, not that I was motivated, no, how I became the librarian. You know, BAM Library was given some huge sum of money to set up a research commons. And there was this supervisor from New York who used to come and was not seeing any progress whatsoever. So she used to attack the vice chancellor that, hey, you let me lose my job because we've pumped so much money into Legon and we are not seeing anything. You are supposed to develop a research commons and nothing seems to be going on. So I think, to put it bluntly, I was more or less begged by Professor Yanka. At that time, I was even with Mrs. Ntuamense's outfit at CSIR attending some panel meeting when Professor Yanka called me and said that, Prof, we need you in BAM Library because these Carnegie people are worrying us that we are not progressing. They've given us so much money, but we are not able to do the work. And the woman has traveled all the way from New York to come to me. She doesn't make me sleep. So please take up the job, take up the job. And then Professor Kisi Edutu also came to me and said that, Ellis, why do you want to be vice chancellor? Why? The library is okay. We need people like you to come and change the place. So come. So eventually I yielded to their demands. So that is how I became the librarian. When I became the librarian, I'm moving it towards your second question. When I became the librarian, I noticed that you needed the political will to succeed. You needed the backing of the vice chancellor. You needed the backing of the director of estate, PDMSD. Without those two people, you will not succeed. You will live there without doing any useful work. So what I did was that I sided strongly with the director of PDMSD, which was Azundo of blessed memory. I sided with him. And then I remember him one day telling me that, look, the way that you support me, even at meetings, when people begin to lambast me, you sort of support me. I think I'll also support you to develop BAM Library. That is how I became successful. So sometimes he would even sign the go-ahead for jobs to be done without going through the normal processes, because I told him that the library was in a very bad state and we needed to move fast. We needed to move fast. You know, so that is the advice. You should have that political will. You should try as much as possible to be in the good books, because you see, most of the libraries belong to a parent organization. So if you are not in the good books of the management or those at the top in that parent organization, you will not succeed. You will not succeed. And one thing that I also advise is that you should let them see the work you are doing. Invite them. One of the reasons why we started doing the exhibition of publishers, of those who have been made professors, was to get the big men of the university to the library. That is one of the reasons why we did that. So when they come and they come to see the exhibition of published works by those who have been made professors, fresh professors, they saw the development in the library and then they supported us. So I remember one of them making a statement that, you have put the money to good use, so we will continue supporting you. So you need to create that political support. You need that political support. Otherwise, you won't succeed. You need to have that political support. Have the support of the Vice Chancellor, have the support of those in works, those who will pay for works to be done in the library. Try and get their support. Find a way, either informal or formal. Find a way to get their support. That is the way that you will succeed. Otherwise, you won't succeed. You need their support. Let me say this. When I had that confrontation with the Vice Chancellor over the canteen, he withdrew his support. He withdrew his support. He even stopped us from traveling to attend conferences. So the money is very this way to the heart of the people. So that is what I got to say. I'm done. Hey, Ananenko. Nenko, Anan.
We heard you, Prof.
Oh, okay.
We heard you.
Okay.
In the last part, that was a bit challenging, but we still heard that they would even try to stop you from traveling to attend meetings and conferences outside the country.
Yes, that is when the Vice Chancellor withdrew his support.
Oh, okay.
Yes, when the Vice Chancellor withdrew his support, because at that time we had that confrontation, and he made sure that nobody from the library was traveling outside. That was how bad it was. But at that time, I had almost come to the end of my tenure.
Okay.
Yes, so it wasn't too bad. Maybe if I was beginning, I would have mellowed down a bit. But then he deserved what he got.
That's an interesting experience, and I'm sure we would all be taking note of how to handle the situation if it comes to us now. George Banji, please, can you come unmute yourself and come with your question? Can you unmute yourself, please, and come with your question or comment?
All right, thank you. I wish to thank all the three panelists for the wonderful experience that they're sharing with us. Indeed, we cannot complete the stories of librarianship in Ghana without mentioning these prominent people who are talking to us today. However, I would like to know how successful they have been with their succession development plans. If they could mention at least one or two people they were able to mentor to become university librarians in Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start off with Mr. Mensah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Let me say that for the successful succession plan that one put in place, I had always told myself, once you take up responsibility as a librarian, or the topmost position, you should consider yourself redundant in the next few years, and that you need to fill that gap. So you must be able to mentor some people whom you can depend on to continue with a good job. To start with, at CSIR, Institute, for example, I did mentor 2 people, and when the position became vacant, they were invited, and the advert was put up. They applied, and the 2 of them were invited for an interview. At least one of them got the job as a director. Then,
Hey, Marafo, Asabo.
hello. Please, do you hear me?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Okay. Then at the University of Cape Coast, when I got in there, at least I started with the senior assistant librarians because I knew that they were potential university librarians. I mentored them, and eventually I can say that the current librarian or acting librarian at UMAT, Koklu, Lai, was my a staff at UCC Library, one of those I mentored. The current, the librarian who has retired from University of Health and Allied Sciences, Mr. Kofi, was one of my mentees. He was my deputy, and I did mentor him. The current university librarian at UCC was my mentee. In fact, I appointed him as assistant librarian when I was the director of CSIR Institute. When he went to Methodist University, he stayed in touch with me, and eventually, when the position of the librarian became vacant, at that time I had other people I've mentored. I encouraged them to apply, and he was one of the applicants, and eventually he was given the job. So at least in terms of in the university and the research institutions, most of the people that I've mentored eventually ended up at the top position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alaji, please.
Can I talk for him? Can I talk for him?
Please, can you unmute and then give your comments?
Hello.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Right. I retired from UBS 2016, and I can confirm that I was able to mentor at least one of them, who eventually was appointed the University Librarian of UBS, and is still the Librarian of UBS. Secondly, I mentored Dr. Florence Blocky, current University Librarian of Accra Technical University. I lifted her up with a diploma, with a first degree, MA, and a PhD. I edited a number of her publications, encouraged her to publish, which the publishing has helped her to become a university librarian. So yes, at least I've been able to lift 2 of my staff to the position of university librarian in Ghana.
Thank you very much, Alaji. And we are proud to be having her here with us in this meeting. She's here with us as one of the hosts for the meeting. Professor Badu, please.
Yes. Okay. You know, the situation in Legon is a little bit different. In the past, what Legon has been doing is to take people from the department and make them university librarians. One of the reasons why I did not want to be the BAM librarian was because of that. I was seriously against it. I felt that people who work in the library should rather be encouraged and then be made librarians. But then the norm at that time was to take them from the department and make them university librarians, people who have never even worked in libraries, people who have no background in librarianship. And even at a certain time, if I hadn't stepped in, they would have made somebody who did archives the university librarian. So ours has been different. So they handpick, and then make the person the librarian. However, when I was in the library, I saw some good traits in one lady. So I called her to my office. I don't want to mention the name. I called her to my office and told her that, look, you are a potential person, and I want to encourage you to become the librarian. But you know, in this university, you need to write. So let us begin to write together so that you get the knack of writing. And if you get that knack of writing, then you can become a professor and become the university, so that we break that chain of handpicking people from the department and making them librarians. For one reason or the other, this lady failed to even come to me and then, take up that challenge. However, I kept on. I wrote a few articles with people like Eric Amwafo, encouraging him to write. I also encouraged somebody like Monica Mensah to also write. And I used to mentor her with her work, with her research.
Somebody else.
I used to mentor her with her research. And then being also part of
For the one of your
academia, I also had people always coming to me for advice. Somebody like Nazir Cranton of UDS, he used to come to me a lot for advice on writing, on research, on publications, and all that. I even wrote one article with him. And now, even as I speak, I'm still writing with some of them. So in terms of having developed a librarian, I haven't. As a university librarian, I haven't, because the Legon situation is different from that of other places. But I'm still mentoring others to write articles and to publish. And when I was in BAM Library, I was also trying to encourage some of them. I made sure that every senior member traveled outside. I made sure some of the trips that I was even invited, I surrendered them to somebody else. When you look at people like Olivia Aja, almost all of them, it seems I've even forgotten their names. Either I sent them out or I went with them. People like Siedu even went outside. All the senior members traveled outside. I made sure that they traveled outside, so as to motivate them and also to let them know, have experiences of what is going on out there in order to apply to our own situations here. So I did a lot for them in terms of they learning from me and also learning from what prevails outside this country. I'm done.
Thank you very, very much. We have heard a lot from our eminent panelists. Gradually, we have almost spent 3 hours now. We want to come to the climax of our meeting this morning, today. But before we do that, I want to take this opportunity to also acknowledge the presence of people outside Ghana who joined us, our colleague professionals outside Ghana who had joined us here to listen to the experiences shared by our eminent panelists. And I would want to give them the opportunity to make a comment, 1 minute each, at least 1 minute comment on what they have seen and what they have felt through all this time that they have been with us. I can see people like Hilary Makoni Masimba. Hilary, if you are here, can you give us, raise your hand so we can give you the opportunity to give us a comment? And all those who are outside Ghana and joining us from the continent, please, we want to acknowledge your presence. So if you can come on and then give us 1 minute of your time. I can see Howard is also here, Howard Hugo, Miriam Mashabala, Margaret Imwandi. Please, if you are here, if you can just raise your hand, we will give you a minute to give us your comments on or observations on what has happened, transpired this past 3 hours, almost 3 hours, please. To acknowledge your presence and the fact that you have been with us to support us go through these experiences that we have shared with our prominent librarians and what we have learned from them. I can see them in the chats, in the participants list. Please, would you want to make any comments? Patrick?
Oh my God, I can't been.
Y que te la.
And I'm waiting for it.
Howard?
Yeah. The carbon dioxide.
Howard, would you want to make a comment? All right, whilst you are waiting for them, Bernard, finally, your hands has been up for a long time. Can you make your comments and make it brief, please? Bernard. All right, so at this point, I want to invite Dr. Florence Blockade to come in, and we have something very, very small. It's not something as a gift or something to pay for all that we have experienced or we have benefited from the trail that these prominent people have blazed for us in their profession. We cannot ever pay them back for all the things they have contributed to make the profession what it is today. And for us to appreciate their contributions and their efforts, I want to, at this point, hand over to Dr. Florence Blockade to come in and make some comments and some presentations.
Wait, unmute me. Okay, thank you all for coming. I'm really, really grateful for today. Organizing this program has not been easy.
This is picking up. This is picking you up so speak.
Okay, organizing this program has not been easy, but we are grateful to all of you, especially Prof Badu. Please, can you hear me, Prof Badu? Okay. You didn't mention my name, but I know you have also mentored me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Florence. I can hear you.
Okay, I said you didn't mention my name, but I know you've mentored me and you are still mentoring me. You know, being at ATU, I call you anytime, ask for something, you call me, do this, do that. And I'm really, really grateful. From diploma, first degree, MA, and even still as university librarian. For Mr. Enchi, I like the Enchi. He has said this all. In fact, I'm really, really grateful. I started my career under his leadership as a librarian. And like he said, he has mentored me, seen me through along the stages up to now. Alaji, I know you are there. I'm really, really grateful, and you know my heart. And not only me, I know all the UDS staff. I can read some of the comments, and even not only the library staff, UDS staff, you have encouraged us to publish, you have edited and proofread our papers, our theses, encourage us to go to school, and you are still mentoring us. Mr. Entuamensa, we are also grateful. I know you have done a lot. GLA, you have been a pillar, and we are grateful. And as Abed said, we have a souvenir for you. It's not a gift, just a souvenir. And we know you would appreciate it. And so on behalf of ATU Library, Ghana Library Association, and then Association of African Universities, on behalf of African universities, please, this is a souvenir for all of you. Professor Bedu, Alaji Entry, Mr. Ntuamensa, and Professor Alemina, who was not able to be here with us. We will arrange for you to have it. So please, this is yours. So I hope all of you can see it.
Yes, please.
It's just a small souvenir. We appreciate your effort, your time. Thank you. And we also have some citations for you.
So I'll start reading the first one. This is a citation for Alaji Entry. So I'll read what is here. It says that you have been an incredible father, a mentor, a coach, and a role model par excellence to many young hearts in Ghana and on the African continent. As an academic librarian, you sacrifice your time to educate, guide, and mentor your staff, subordinates, students, and associates. You have always given up your all to cultivate responsible and upright personalities, as well as support them to attain self-actualization. Your relentlessness is evident in your impartial support for all, irrespective of their backgrounds. Your energy, time, attention, and meticulous care for holistic nurturing of the young professionals around you are a unique hallmark. The rudderless lost at sea, you showed yourself to be a reliable rudder. There are numerous men, yet only a select few are identified as fathers. We salute you on this special day and honor your accomplishments. Most cherished dad. So that is for Alaji.
Alaji Entry. Thank you. We'll arrange to let you have it. We appreciate you, Alaji. And this is to Professor Bedu.
Okay, so Professor Bedu, this is your own. I'll read also your citation. It says you are an incredible father, a mentor, a coach, and a role model to so many young men and women on the African continent. As a professor, you give up your time to teach, direct, and instruct your students who passed under your tutelage into responsible and upright people. As a career professional, your relentless efforts in guiding, mentoring, and supporting your subordinates into self-actualization is unparalleled. Your immense love for all is deeply reflected in your impartial dealings with your staff, irrespective of their background. Guidance has aided several young ones towards achieving their life goals and ambitions. Daily, you have invested your energy, time, attention to support healthy transitions in the lives of others. To those who floundered in their path, you proved yourself a rather par excellence. Indeed, many are those described as men, yet just a noble number can be pointed out as fathers. We hail you on this day and celebrate your achievement as an outstanding father.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, Prof, we would like to have it. I'll arrange so that I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And then Mr. Entuamensa, also I'll read He says, you have been an incredible father, a mentor, a coach, and a role model par excellence to many young hearts in Ghana and on the African continent. As an academic librarian, you sacrifice your time to educate and mentor your staff, subordinates, students, and other associates. You have always given up your all to cultivate responsible and happy citizens, as well as support them to attain self-actualization. Your relentlessness is evident in your impartial support for all, irrespective of where they come from. Energy, time, attention, and meticulous care for for holistic nurturing of the young professionals around you has been a unique hallmark. To those who are lost at sea, you showed yourself to be a reliable brother. There are numerous men, yet only a select few can be identified as fathers. We salute you on this special day and honor your accomplishments. Most cherished Dad.
Then please, congratulations, and also arrange so that you get it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the gifts, the souvenirs are here, and I think that Florence would arrange to make sure that each person gets the souvenir and the citation. At this point, I saw Marian try to give us a comment. Marian is not with us in Ghana. He had joined us all this while, so I want to give her the opportunity to make a comment. Please, are you here? Can we hear from you now? Marian? Okay. So at this point, we would want to end our meeting for the day. We are grateful to all of you who have been here with us and have supported this program. We are happy to have heard from our prominent leaders who have made so much impact in our profession and in our daily lives. We are sure beyond this meeting, we will still reach out to them, see how they are faring, and we are happy to know that they are all doing well. They are healthy in the face of COVID. They are healthy, things are fine with them, and we will continue to pray with them, especially Professor Bedu, who at this time will need all our condolences and our support. Please, let's remember him in our prayers. I would want to... Professor maybe is he still around?
So,
Yes, I'm around.
Oh, okay, Prof. Before we end, I want to hand over to you to you guys. Yes.
My formula.
You want me to do what?
Give your comments.
General comments.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, I think it has been a very good initiative by ATU, and they should continue organizing programs like this. I think it's a very good thing in the sense that some of us have gone through that practice of, doing librarianship, and we have seen things on the ground, and we have experienced them ourselves. So what we say are all based on experience and practice. So I think in future you can do that. You can invite others to share their experiences, which I know will definitely motivate the young ones to give up their best. I wish every librarian good luck. And as we also try to revise our courses, let us receive inputs from you so that we can improve upon our program to the benefit of all librarians and the nation at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Prof. And thanks also for reminding us of that invitation from Professor Badu about the change in the development of the curriculum for information studies. Please, I would wish that all of us would make our contributions towards that. One other thing I want to add before we come to the conclusion of the meeting is that we The AAU is also available to support for collaborations like this. And in about 3 weeks from now, I'm sharing a link in the chat. We are going to have our general conference for 2021, the 15th quadrennial conference. I always share the opportunity for such meetings with members of the library fraternity because it provides the opportunities to write papers and present. And unfortunately, I have done that several times, but I hardly get any response from the committee. Like we are all hearing, if you want to move up in the field of librarianship, one of the ways you can do that is to write, do research and write. And this provides the opportunities to present before vice chancellors because the meetings are normally between vice chancellors, directors, presidents of universities, rectors, and then the stakeholders in higher education. That is where the AAU operates in. So please, when you have these opportunities, let's take them up and take the time to do a little research and write papers and present at these meetings. If your paper is selected, at least you have the opportunity or the privilege of being sponsored to go and do the presentation of paper, wherever the event will take place. Unfortunately, this year it is taking place as a virtual meeting because of COVID. But normally the AAU would also provide air tickets and accommodation to allow you to go present your paper wherever the meeting is hosted. So please, when you have these invitations from the AAU, look at the themes that are presented and then make sure we can do presentations. It gives us the opportunity to grow in our professional areas. So the link for this year's general conference is shared in the chat. If there are any other questions that you need to know, I'm putting my email address there also. Please, you can reach out to me and I will give you more information about the general conference. At this point, I would want to invite someone to end our meeting for us with a prayer, since we started off with a prayer. So we want a volunteer who would end the meeting for us with a prayer.
Yeah, can I just say something quickly? I have sent the email address of our head of department.
Okay.
Yes, right. I've posted it. Yes.
Okay.
In the chat room. Yes.
All right. Sir.
Okay.
The link. Let's say somebody said they didn't get the link, so let me share the link again. Everyone in the meeting, please. Can we see the link?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the link for the general conference registration. I have also posted my email address is also, let me post it again. So if there's any questions, please let us know. So Dr. Banji has volunteered to be our pastor for the closing ceremony. So we would kindly invite him to close us with a prayer. After the closing prayer, the platform is going to be open and people can still interact for at least 10-15 minutes before we shut down finally. Yeah. So, Dr. Banji, please unmute yourself and, okay, go ahead with the prayer.
All right, shall we all bow down our heads and we pray? Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for who you are and for what you have done today. We appreciate your greatness in our lives as librarians in Ghana and beyond. We just want to say that indeed today you have done another wonderful thing to us. We give all the glory unto you. We pray, committing all the panelists who have come to share with us into your hands. We pray for your spirit to brood over them. May you be the one to protect them, guide them, give them long life and prosperity. And we pray that, Lord, let them live to give honor to librarians in Ghana and to you as well. We pray committing ourselves as practicing librarians and starters into your hands. We pray for knowledge from above. That Lord, may you guide us, that at the end of the day, we shall all have the cause to give glory unto your holy name, because you have done it once again. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So please, all of us can open our microphones. Everybody is allowed to unmute. Please also share your pictures. Open your video so others will see you, and the floor is open for chats.
Hello, moderator.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can we have the contacts or the email of the panelists, please?
Okay. We have all your email addresses. We'll share that with you. But they can also, once they are still here, they can share it in the chats. Once they are still here, please, can you share your email addresses in the chats?
And please, I'm sure we'll be having the recordings of the meeting.
Yes. The meeting was recorded. It will be posted online, so you can access it online.
Okay.
They will be posted online. You will share it on YouTube and on the Facebook. So you have the links shared with you in our database that we have now of those who registered and attended the meeting.
That's fine. That's fine.
Please, if the panelists can share their emails in the chat, that would be fine.
I have done that.
All right, sir. So we can get the chat from.
Okay, sir, please, how about the numbers, please? The numbers.
Please get to them on their email and see if they can get you the numbers, because I don't want them to share numbers so they don't get overwhelmed with too many calls.
After numbers, request another team.
You can make the request personally to them, their email, when you are able to send them emails. I think that will be better, so you don't overwhelm them with calls. But please, everybody can unmute their microphones and make comments and see.
Mr. Quality. Mr. Quality.
Everybody.
Abed.
Yes, sir.
Abed, I think this may also be a very good platform for us to, as Mr. Ibrahim Mantri just said, that he is into consultancy and also editing business. If you could maybe use 2 minutes to tell us more about that, so that those who would like to maybe patronize his service, and also what Mr. Mensa also does now, so that we can still be the people to advertise their activities for the for all people to patronize.
Okay.
I think you've got what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Because they are currently into consultancy, editing services, etc. So we may be the people to maybe advertise these things. So we want to know a little thing about it, how to get in touch with them wherever we need their service.
All right. So, Mr. Entry, I don't know if you want to answer that now.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for making this inquiry. Okay. The name of my consultancy firm is Scholarly Editing and Proofreading Services. As the name implies, we edit and proofread various publications, especially theses of all kinds, dissertations, long essays, academic writing, including manuscripts for publication. I have a team of experienced editors, retired senior lecturers, retired professors, retired university librarians, I coordinate. So you send your request to me by email, or you can call me and then you discuss. We charge 5 cedis a page of double. So in a nutshell, this is what our consulting firm does by way of facilitating scholarly publishing. I also like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for giving us the opportunity to share our experiences. We learned a lot from co-panelists and members who participated in this seminar. We are most grateful to organizers, and then also the pastor and the citations. We appreciate your kindness to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, Professor Enchua-Mensah, can we also have your email, please?
I think they shared
Professor Enchua-Mensah.
They shared it in their chats.
Please, it's not there.
It's not here.
It's coming.
Okay, he said it's coming. He's doing that now. We also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the support of the Ghana Library Association. They are part of the organizers. So we have Accra Teka University Library, the Ghana Library Association, and the Association of African Universities. Bernard, we tried several times to allow you to give your comment or your questions, but we never got through to you. Now I can see you are showing up on the screen. Would you still want to make a comment?
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank all the panelists, and I wish if it is doable, Professor Bedu will tell us the date for the brother's funeral. If not, then privately he can tell us.
I think Professor Bedu is gone now, so you might have to reach out to him in the email address. The email address that he gave us.
But I dropped a question in the chat and I didn't hear from you. I was expecting questions to be read out, but I didn't hear anything.
Sorry. Alice, could you still ask your question, please?
Oh dear. To our panelists. My question was about, since they are there already, our seniors, and they're enjoying their retirement, is there something or issues we should be thinking about before we get there? Now that they are there, maybe they are thinking, oh, when I was active service, I should have been thinking about these issues, not necessarily academically, but our well-being and general issues. Because gradually we are nearing that, we are going there, eventually we would. But you see, these things we don't discuss. That's what I've realized. In Ghana, we don't talk about these things. So since we are lucky to have them, I thought maybe, yes, it's good. All the things, thank you very much for discussing these things. But these are real issues that we should be thinking about as well, that maybe they would have commented on it, but you didn't read it.
I'm so sorry. I wish when I asked for people to raise their hands and make comments, you should have drawn my attention to this. But unfortunately,
already.
Yes, because I was unable to. I was handling too many things at the same time. So
okay,
it was unfortunate. But I think Mr. Enchua-Mensah is still here, so probably you can make a comment in relation to that question.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
hello.
Yes,
thank you.
We can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think in answer to one of the questions, I said that as someone who is currently at post, you must be thinking about your retirement. And I made reference to staff putting something aside at the end of every month investing something at the end of every month, so that they don't become too much dependent on their children, hoping that their children will look after them when they retire. You must be able to prepare for your own retirement. As I said earlier on, the salaries that we receive are padded with allowances.
Yeah.
But the pension is paid on your monthly basic. That is what we should bear in mind. So in all that we do, at least when we receive our salary at the end of the month, we should tell ourselves that, look, I'm going to retire in about 10, 15, 20, 30 years time. Let me put something aside towards the future. You don't touch it. You don't touch it. Let the investment yield interest, so that at the end of the day, when you retire, you don't become
dependent.
You don't regret of having wasted about 30 or 40 years in public service.
Okay.
So that is the advice that I'll give to you. I'll prefer for others to see.
I think that's the point.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Sir, I would like to ask Mr. Ntuamensa a question, a quick one, please. This is Martha. Once he is around, about this information literacy skills. I know that UCC, once you are a first holder, once you come there, you are supposed to, it's a must. But what can they do to help so that other institutions, other tertiary institutions will also come on board and also offer this information literacy skills as a compulsory course, like maths, income skills, and others?
Yeah, I think it's an issue that can be discussed at cooled meetings, committee of university librarians and their deputies, because the information literacy skills is a very good program. It's a very good program, and it's a core course, at least for all the first year students, no matter what subject you are reading. And at the end of the day, it also gives them the basic skills that they'll be able to look for information anytime they come to the library, or even on the internet. So it's an issue maybe the committee for university librarians and their deputies should discuss and make sure that they put up position papers to the academic board, because a university librarian, you're a member of the academic board. You put up a position paper. Once the academic board accepts that proposal, they will ask you, the university librarian, to come out with course outline and everything and pass it through. Maybe a department may decide that they are going to take up that program. But these days, the libraries are allowed to run the program. So you just put it, send it to one of I've forgotten the committee in Cape Coast. They will discuss. When it's approved, it will be sent to the academic board for final approval. And once the academic board approves, the course will be offered to all students. So that is that. I think the initial discussion should be at cooled, so that the institutions that are not offering this program could look at how best they can introduce it in their institutions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
sir.
Prof. Prof. Entramensa, please, so I want to divert a little bit. I want to ask you if you are directly related to Mrs. Florence Entramensa. She's a staff of the Information Studies Department also at the University of Ghana.
No, you are not related, but bearing that Entramensa name, we come from the same one tree, but different branches.
But I don't know if you know her, the one I'm talking of.
Yes, I met her, I think, when she was doing her master.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. Is there any other questions or comments?
Hello.
Hello, Florence.
Yes. And for some more Zoom meeting, if you have.
Oh,
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, please. You can make a comment.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yes, I first of all want to congratulate you so much, Dr. Lucky, for this all important and all educative program. Some of us had challenges, so we was just going in and out of the program. But on the whole, I heard so much that I think will help us in our mentorship and how we can become better librarians than we are now. I want to throw a suggestion to the floor as we are here. I don't know if members from the Ghana Library Association is here, so that I am sure we have an issue with our national library. I don't know if it exists, but I know there's a library that is acting as one. Is it the Padmore Library also? But I'm thinking it's about time that we, as it were, rise up as a team and build for ourselves a national library. This will be one of the ways we can even have effective mentoring, because it will be centralized. You will have people, resource persons, who can mentor others from the National Library with the links appropriately created. I think that in this era of IT also, where we have electronic books and all those things, we don't need to invest so much into a physical library. If we have a small place as a national library, we could also have online services so that the librarianship business in Ghana will have that kind of flair. We will have people who would be working and servicing not just academicians, but anybody who wants to read. I mean, we need people to read in our country. But how do we do that? There's not that vibrant national library, and we are not also using IT to get materials to people around us to read. So maybe we can take it as a team, together with the Ghana Library Association, to create one, and also use IT to have more resources from the National Library to others who we want to make use of this. That's my submission. And thank you once again, Florence. That's a very good work done.
Please, it's a teamwork. And AA. Thank
Hello, Dr. Florence. Hello, Dr. Florence.
Yes, please.
Please, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, please, so can we have your email as well?
My number?
No, email.
Email. Okay, please, I'll do that. I'll share my email in the chat.
Okay, Doc. Thank you.
There are people here who are deciding to be quiet. Please stop. Speak up now or forever remain silent. Please speak up for interaction. Your contributions, please.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I see Bridget is.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead and speak.
I want to ask, maybe though the panelists are gone, I want to ask this question from the department. You know, a lot of theses are done concerning the library. I want to ask how the department is helping other libraries have access to those good ideas put in theses and dissertations to develop the library, the individual libraries in the country. Thank you.
Anybody from the department who is here who can help?
Please, can I say something?
Yes. Right.
Okay. Well, what I know is that the University of Ghana has an institutional repository of which the collections include theses and dissertations from the Department of Information Studies. And these are free to be accessed by any institution, whether in Ghana or outside. So maybe other universities will take opportunity and then you look at some of the theses that relate to the activities that they do. So from where I stand, that's what I can say, that other institutions can utilize the institutional repository of the University of Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, so let me also come in. I want to ask a series of questions. You see, people, actually for me personally, I'm not seeing the library's repository growing because the number doesn't seem to reflect the number of theses that is given out every year. The repository doesn't seem to grow. If you look at the number of graduate students who come out every year alone, I expect that the library repository under the thesis and dissertation should be something running into the hundreds of thousands by now. But unfortunately, it is not. It means that people are not actually loading up their contents on the repository. But my question is, how are people able to make sure that topics are not repeated and that people's works are not being copied and presented again? Because these are not online, how are you able to verify to see that somebody's work is not a copy of an already submitted work? How are you able to do that?
Hi, hello. Be excited. Well, at least there are some solid plans. Well, I'm hopeful that these plans will materialize. I think.
Can we have an answer to that?
Please, is someone addressing? Because I wanted to come in.
Okay, please come in.
Okay, I will take the last aspect of your question, which states how we are making sure that theses are not repeated. What I know is that it is now a standard practice in most universities that before you submit your thesis, you are to add the similarity index score or the plagiarism score. So that is one of the strategies that are being used to ensure that people don't put in plagiarized.
Hold on. I do all that. My point is, since the work has not already been submitted online, if you test against the plagiarism software, nothing will show up. Because the work has not been loaded. That was my point. You get me? The work has not been loaded. So if you are going to do the online check against things that have been uploaded online, then you will get it. But this is a situation where that work has not been uploaded. So if you do the check against Turnitin or whatever software,
it will not show.
It will not show up.
Oh,
yes.
Well, what I know is that the Turnitin report is very comprehensive, and it's
no. You are not getting my point.
No, Eben, that thing, if the thing is there, is on the internet, that is when you test, you'll be able to see the similarity index.
Yes.
Okay, but he is trying to say that if it is not found there, what do you compare it with? That this is the new one and this is the old one. You realize that even lecturers are avoiding their documents to be placed in the institutional repository.
Do you know why? Because they are aware of the malfeasance they doing somewhere before publishing some of the documents.
Okay, Dr. Banji and Abed, I now get you. You are talking about documents which are not already online.
Online, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh. I think it's still a valid issue that you have raised. And all in all, I think even with the institutional repositories, there are a lot to be done to actually make it a thing in Ghana. And so maybe we can tie in with this other observation you have made and then make issues known to the appropriate quarters to address. So as we keep on talking about it in platforms like this, I think it will gain the necessary audience and then things will improve. Yeah.
You see, I'm looking at the Legon repository now. Thesis and dissertations. Let me share my screen. Probably then we all have a look at it and see. Then you understand my worry. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Total 1,461. Total thesis and dissertations 6,461. How many graduates come out of UG postgraduate level every year?
No, you are right.
Now you understand my point.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, it's a very valid point, sir. And I want to believe that the work that yourself and Lamte started in 2008 that have also kind of laid the foundation for others to be interested in the field of institutional repository. It's still a journey, and with serious advocates, I think we will get there. Yeah, that's the little.
Let me help you. You see, the problem I have had with the librarians is that we seem not to be really interested in some areas that could also protect the profession. It is also as another platform that helps with the ranking of the institutions when it comes to ranking universities. Now, look at what happened to the African continent when COVID struck. Whereas they working well, transitioning effortlessly into online teaching. We were forced to go home. Most of the universities were forced to shut down. And up to now, some are still struggling to come on with helping with the online learning. It is because one of the things that we lacked was e-content that could be used to support teaching, learning, and research. E-content was simply not available. You see, when we talk about e-learning, people think that when you convert your notes into PowerPoint presentations, that is e-learning or e-teaching. But that is not it. It is not it at all. E-learning is a whole new ballgame. But because we have not really focused our efforts on creating e-content, there was nothing to depend on. And to create e-content, librarians are the ones who are supposed to be at the forefront. You are the knowledge managers. You are the ones to help support, create e-content. And most times I keep saying that we talk about ICT and we are giving them all the glory. The I that starts with ICT is information. And you are the information professionals. I keep saying this all the time. So why are we giving all the glory to the technology? The technologists or the technical people? If they lay the pipelines and there's no water to flow through, what is the use of the pipeline? So it is up to the librarians to take the lead in making sure people are gathering and preparing e-content suitable for the institutions. After all, in a physical sense, when the library, when there is a need to create a new course, they always consult the librarians to get information for them. Is that not what they do? When there's time for accreditation, would the accreditors not come to the library first to come and see what contents we have to support the course that are being administered in the university? So why is it that the university librarians cannot do the same when it comes to e-content? Why can't we take the lead in making sure that we help them to prepare e-content? But we don't seem to be interested in that. And I think that is one of the reasons why people keep saying that the profession will die off eventually. Because people now go online and they are getting all the information they want from all sorts of sources. We are not even helping guide them. If they want to go there, why are we not rather helping by guiding them to the appropriate sources of information? Why are we allowing them to come to the libraries with their laptops and come and sit down and don't even want to take the books off the shelves? At the end of the day, to come to a point, they will not even come to the library. Hello?
Mr. Kolite, you have made your point. There's something you may also have to identify. You see, the issue is that in Ghana, the profession, librarianship, is struggling to raise its head in the various institutions that we work in. The truth of the matter is that if you are not careful as a librarian and you want to force that the materials that you have harvested from the university are being kept in the institutional repository, let me give you this at the back door. Thought of if it happens that the vice chancellor that you are working with, the one that you are paying homage to, happens to have plagiarized to be able to publish some documents, and you are forcing him that he should have his document in the institutional repository, you are shooting yourself at the back from the beginning. You see, this is the peculiar case for librarians in Ghana. If you look at this, there was a meeting we had and I said something. If you go to every university, the registrar doesn't struggle to show his image. The auditor or the internal auditor doesn't struggle. But it appears the librarian in every institution will have to be struggling for his image to be identified. Why? Because it looks like we don't do anything to bring money. And you depend on the VC and the pro VC. So if you are not careful how you push certain things in, you end up, you know. So Mr. Quality, we can see, but the only problem is that our guns are not properly prepared to shoot.
Okay,
You
so
can see.
Let me ask you something.
Abed, let me come in.
Okay.
Okay, so Benji, one of the things I have realized, especially when I went to ATU, the library was actually, it was just COVID era and the school was closed and we just came in. So the place was just nothing too much. So how would you, when you are asking for money to be difficult, that, how would you penetrate and set, what would you do to be recognized? So we have to sit down to come out with innovative ideas. Not necessarily depending on money. And now they are seeing the library, even though when you come to the library, just a small library, but ATU Library everywhere. Everybody see, we make sure we do things to almost every time we flood the other WhatsApp groups with information, be it grants, library running this program today, tomorrow. Now the library people are doing well. Then people have started coming to the library. So if we try to do that, they would come to appreciate us. And now you realize that now if you ask for something, you'll find it difficult to get.
You see, this event, for instance, how the Vice Chancellor for ATU was so supportive of this event, even to the point of providing funds. You see, then it means then there has been some recognition of the efforts of the library in being able to do this. Exactly. But you see, from your point that you were giving, I also have the same challenge. You see, sometimes it's difficult to have people who have already, like we're saying, they don't want to bring it up because they now think that they might be exposed. It's happened. People might be exposed. So now my point is, moving forward now, how are we doing things? The young researchers that we have on site, the young postgraduate students coming out, how are we managing their knowledge that they are bringing up? How are we managing that one? See, sometimes I don't have a problem publishing wherever you want to publish. Quite recently, this is one of our TV hosts. they invited me on that platform, and they were talking about Makerere institution coming out and saying that during the COVID, because they had reduced contact time with the students, they were able to do a lot of research, and they were able to publish so much. And I said, well done. But then my question was, all the things that they published, where can it be found within the institution? Yeah. You get the point? Yeah. All the things that they published. Then I called their librarian because I happen to know her list state. I called her. He said, what they are talking about, she doesn't even know. Could you imagine that? They are online talking about publishing so many papers. He said, what they are talking about, I don't even know. So how many of the papers would there be there within the institution for other researchers to have access to? So that this research has been done and that it was published here and that this is what it came up with. How many of them? Because that is because also the library is not trying to engage them, engage the researchers and helping them know that you don't need to plagiarize. But whatever you do, please come here. We will help you make you more visible. We help you get more following. We help you get more citation. The librarians seem to be so comfortable in their corner. You see, and this refrain of the management won't mind me, the administration won't mind me, they don't even want to recognize me. This world, nobody will recognize anybody unless you fight for your rights.
That is it. That one.
So if you continue to stay and say that, oh, they are not recognizing my efforts, they don't want to see my efforts, then they will continue to see your efforts. But if you make noise and you keep making noise a lot, people will begin to listen to you. Yeah. And I think we should begin off by the young lecturers as they get employed and we get to know them. Let's engage them. Let's guide them in the way they publish, so that we can begin to create that critical mass of e-content to support teaching, research, and learning within the institutions. Then if nobody says COVID should come again, but if there's any events where people have to stay home, at least we would have created that mass that we can refer the administration to or the departments to. We have this number of content online for teaching, but now we don't even have them. So how would we point to now? And this is an example of that's what we just looked at. Legon, look at the number of people Legon graduates per year. MBA students. It should be more than 6,000 per year, but for so many years, we still have just 6,000. And you go to the libraries and the TVs are all lying on the floor, in the hallways, the corridors, stairs. Now people are using them as seats.
They are using them as what?
Seats. Yeah, people pack them and sit down on them. Oh, I have seen it happen. No, it's true. I have seen it happen at Legon here. They don't have seats. You see, during exam time, when these things are so packed, people, they just put it there somewhere and they sit on it.
And sit on it. Somebody's intellectual property.
But the person has decided to hide it. So at the end of the day, who is benefiting from it? That's our challenge. And that is why if we do a search every 2-3 years, the topic is repeated.
Oh yeah, not every 2. You see, it has become a normal practice that in the graduate school now, even some supervisors, because they themselves have problems, the methodology they've used when they were doing their PhD, they don't know any other, assuming they've used only a quantitative approach. They want all their students to go through that same approach because they have no idea apart from the one they've done. And you realize that it's affecting us greatly, unless those people who have decided to go the other way. But let me share with my colleague librarians in Ghana. The truth of the matter is that if you really want the faculty to bring their work for you to upload on your institutional repository, then the best thing is that you should begin to maybe make a policy to ask for gray copies, the gray copies of their work before they are published. That is the strategy that everyone is going in for now. If you want to publish the document or you want to send it to any journal, let's submit a gray copy before even you ask the institution to support you to even pay. If there is a need for that journal to be paid before they publish, then there is a need for the gray copy to be given, to be deposited in the institutional repository before that thing gets approval. Otherwise, if it is published over there today, you see copyright issues also come on board. The moment it is published there, how do you harvest it into your system? Unfortunately, some people are saying that drop it in multiple systems. So Ahmed, everything is with you. You are the one training.
You see, Ravanji, thanks very much. You see, the issue of publishing and copywriting, now, because of these issues of publishers and authors, there are a lot of journals now that will allow you to at least also post the content. And those that they refer to as green publishers. They will even allow you to post what they have published, the PDF version of the published work on your institutional repository. So long as it is on your institutional repository, they have no problem with that. So people are now able to publish everywhere they want to publish, but they will still have a copy of it on their institutional repository. And you see, the advantage that this brings is not just to you alone, because if the published work is in a journal that is expensive for people to access, means they cannot access that one. But once it is on your institutional repository, it is open. Anybody who does a Google Scholar search or Google search can get access to the full content. And so your institutional repository must be open access, which case it means that everybody who submits must submit the full text. The full text. And then anybody who does a search on Google anywhere across the globe will be able to access the work. This gives you more credibility or more citations or visibility than the published work would do. Because if I don't subscribe to that journal, I will never have access to that information. If I've never heard of that journal, I won't subscribe to it, and I'll never have that access to your information. So that is why I keep saying that the institutional repository must be one of the ways by which the librarians can make a lot of noise. Apart from the published work, lecturers can submit their lecture notes also on that one. Lecturers, they can submit their lecture notes and direct their students to where their lecture notes are. You get the point? And there are a lot of other things that we can put on there. But the point is that the librarian must take lead and appoint a team who would actually go around, engage people, encourage them to submit the articles onto the platform, and make reference to it all the time. And like you said, there must be policies. These policies must be there to guide how the repositories are going to operate. A lot of them operate without policies. And so when the next librarian or the next whoever, vice chancellor comes up and is not interested, the whole project is shelved. But if there's a policy and there's an appointed person who makes sure that the repository must run, whoever comes and tries to shut down the repository, the person will just go with the policy and say, this one has been approved by Senate or by the academic board. So my friend, you cannot shut it down. And then you can force and make sure that it's running. And it must be attractive. It can be attractive by the content that you have in there. If I come every other week and it is still 6,000 like I'm seeing here, it means nobody is working on the platform. It's a dead platform. And it's the same with KNUSC. I left KNUSC and it's for a long time now. It's the same thing. I keep looking at the content there. There are others that are growing every day. There are others growing every day. There are two that I normally will refer to in the UK, and even as you are watching, they are adding up. The British Library Repository. Even as you are watching, they are adding up, and the number keeps changing. And yet we are here, we are not doing anything, and yet we keep complaining. I think we should move from complaining to action.
To action, okay.
Yes, we should begin to, and I think all of us should begin to do that. In fact, that is why I was asking Professor Bedu. I really was happy when he said that they were trying to change the curriculum, because it's become too outdated. It's become too outdated. People are now repairing cars. People are repairing cars with diagnostic machines, and you are teaching people how to use spanner.
Our library school is as old as itself.
So colleagues are here, but I'm not seeing people talking. Bridget, I see that you have been sharing your camera. We are seeing you. Please come up with your comments.
Hello. Hello.
Bernard, please go.
Yes, I want to bring in another issue. You see, the publishing is a very big, time-demanding something. So how would you combine publishing, writing articles with your normal work schedule without doing harm to the core mandate of what you are supposed to do. I believe you understand me.
Bernard, let me arrest you there. Let's be aware that the past 20 years librarianship is gone. Now everyone is forced to become an academic librarian. You are part of faculty. If the faculty is publishing 6 papers to be moved from one state to the other, you should also be competing with them. Okay? So as a librarian, there is a need for you to be strategic this time. If you want to give an excuse, let me tell you the truth. Some of our, excuse me to say this, some of our past librarians had a chance of publishing only 10 papers and they become librarians. They had that opportunity. Now it's not like that. Multiple publications, you need to have multiple publications. And one thing is that if you want to wait and give excuse that because your work is tedious, etc., you must also bear in mind that you stay more in the office than any other faculty. You stay more in the office. So you must also be able to publish so that we match boot to boot with the faculty. Otherwise, you may also not be able to move from one stage to the other. So Bernard, the time has changed. The time has changed. Let me be frank with you. Now we are academic librarians. So you need to also do things as other faculties do. That's my take on what you have said.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let me bring another issue. You see, I read an article from IFLA, which spoke about disability, persons with disability and patrons with disability. Now, if you go around the libraries in Ghana, including BAM libraries, there's no, I stand for correction, there's no single staff who is disabled. If you go to the school, there's no anything like teaching sign language.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Bernard, so what is your take on that?
I think we have him.
No, he has come back.
We outsource sign language interpreters. So I'm asking, what is preventing the library school from developing curriculum which include disability studies?
Disability studies.
Okay, before I come to that, I want to just show this. You see, this is what I was talking about. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we are with you. British Library.
Yes. So you see, it says that we have over 500,000 doctoral theses.
Wow.
And this can be downloaded instantly for your research. Can copy quickly or easily. Here in Ghana, I used to ask, why are we still locking our theses and their patents in cages and requesting that students bring the ID card before we allow them to access them? Why are we doing that?
We are still
first degree
in the olden days.
thesis. First degree thesis, we are not even talking about the postgraduate thesis. We are asking them to do the same thing with the first degree. Look at what somebody is saying. I wish there had been a resource like Ethos when I was writing my thesis. He wished there was a resource like that, but now there's that resource available. And he's assessing 500,000 over thesis and dissertations. And we sit in our small corner and we want to hide our undergraduate thesis and ask students to come with their ID card before they can access it. You think if they know where they can get access to Ethos, they will come to your library again? This is a question I'm asking. If they can have access to this, do you think they will even come to your library? Or if there's any other researcher looking for information to do research and they have access to this link, they would come to the library to come and waste their time. Because this is online 24/7. The only thing they need is internet access. And they will have access to all these information sources. So I keep asking, why are we doing things that does not help us to grow? Why are we doing that?
I think this question can question.
See, I'll answer my question. But you see, if we begin to create such content, nobody would even need to go make noise again, because this is the British Library. And people are getting to know what they can get from the British Library. If you're able to create even 1/10 or such a content in Ghana, all our university libraries come together and they decide that every time we would put research work on the repository. If all of us, the university, higher education sector, we are able to put every year, let's say we are going to put 100 theses every year. Each institution will put 100 theses. Now in Ghana, we have over 100 and something universities in Ghana, both private and public. At least the public universities, we have about 20, almost 15 or 20 or so of public tertiary institutions. Each of them would bring 100 pieces of theses, and we put them online. Every year we have about 2,000 theses online, isn't it? And in 5 years, how much content would we have generated? That's just thesis. I'm not even talking about research from the faculty as well. So we have the capacity to do that, but our challenge is that we don't have the political will to do it. We give up too easily. We allow ourselves to be bullied. We allow ourselves to be shut down and all that. And so at the end of the day, we always will lose out. And that is where I think that librarians must begin to be more active and find a way to make their presence be felt within their communities. Talking about the need to teach, that's also another area I have a challenge. At least as if in Ghana, it's only people that has facilities for teaching the people who are, what do you call them?
Information literacy.
Side challenge. Those who are blind.
Oh, okay, okay.
How do they call them now?
What is it? Visually impaired.
Yes, visually challenged. It's only Cape Coast University that has the facilities to support them. I don't know what is happening, but I think that's a good opportunity for you to contribute to, Bernard, I hope you are here, for you to contribute to what Professor Badu was talking about, that they want.
Can I say something?
To make an input into the teaching, the development of a new curricula for the library school. I'll allow you to speak.
Can I?
I'll allow you to speak now to learn.
Okay, all right.
So, Bernard, it's an opportunity for everyone here to make a contribution to what Professor Badu said. He said only 3 people responded. When they had written to almost all the university librarians, those who are in practice, to bring out ways by which they can improve the curriculum for the library school. Only 3 people responded. Could you imagine that? 3 people out of all the professionals in Ghana. It's just sad. Look as if we are too. How do I call it?
No, we are tired. We are tired.
You can't be tired. You can't be tired.
No, the approach may be wrong.
Yuma, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Please, let the follow up. The approach may be wrong. And they send the message to librarians and not library staff. So if a librarian gets the message and decide not to say,
that's the point.
It means all the staff under that librarian have no say.
It's true.
I fully agree with you. So for me, I think this is where the library association should have been there to help. And so I ask again, what connection is there between the library association and the library school? I've asked this question several times. What link is there between the two? Because the library association must be able to fine-tune or help support the way the course is run at the department, because they are producing the professionals for the association. So those who are in the field, how are they seeing the demands of the market now? And how is the association able to convey that need back to the school that is training them? I don't know.
No link. There's no link. Every institution is doing its own thing. And I think that is where we are mixing, because if as of now, Ghana the library schools will still be producing MA, and academic universities are demanding for people with MPhil, then what are we doing? You see, it's a big problem for us. But I think, Mr. Quality,
yes, sir.
With time, now that it has come to light that the school is not helping us, I think if they had given the opportunity for the respective institutions or the various institutions to begin training librarians in Ghana, by now our Legon, the library school there would have maybe been put aside. I think a university like University of Cape Coast could have started running this program. Other institutions could have also run it. It would have helped the situation to have a competition.
Banji, I know KSTU doing information studies now. Yes.
But for diploma, that's for school librarians.
So
but
you can decide, Banji, you can develop a program in your institution.
Currently, that is what we working on. So very soon you will hear of us.
Great.
You will hear of us.
Great. Yuma, please come on board now.
Thank you. A lot of things, but just to mention that Florence was saying something about being proactive, which I think if we try to do it to help us. When I also came here, I decided that this disability thing, let's look at it carefully. So even though we don't have blind students here, we got a few braille books, and then we had short shelves for those who sit in wheelchair. And then we started something we call the virtual library, which I think I haven't talked to Florence about it. And we're doing small things to make us relevant. Okay, once you become relevant and people are using it, because students are using. The last time they came for an evaluation, the assessors were very happy with what I call the special needs library, because there were the braille books there, and there were short shelves. There were even we made some workstations for the people who want to use computers. But everything is customized for those people who are challenged. You just have to have about 1 or 2 items there. In fact, our shelves for the computers are just 1 table, and then about 8 or so braille books that we put there, and then 1 short shelf for those who sit in the wheelchair. When you start doing these things, when they came and they were very happy about the special needs library, they mentioned it to our management. And so then the library comes to limelight, and already we were doing the virtual library and having things like daily alerts where we put the cover pages of newspapers. Because of the corona, we couldn't get all newspapers coming to the library. And so we put the cover pages of papers that we can get for people to read. I think Fojo was doing that also and sending it to our if Fojo is here, sending it to our platform. I was doing it for our school, putting it to what we call our daily alerts, where the faculty and staff are being informed daily of what the library is going through, what they can do. So sometimes we put one information there more than once. Let's say how to use our virtual library. It will be there about 2-3 weeks running, that kind of thing. So if you are not proactive, then we will find ourselves, as someone said, very soon being in the background, being relegated to the background, and then being extinct slowly. I think the proactivity aspect, as we are doing today, and thanks so much, Dr. Proki, if we are to continue like this, I started by talking about National Library. I don't think anybody commented, but if we are to have a way of bringing ourselves together to make ourselves more, have an impact, not only in our institutions, but also in the national front, then I don't think the librarianship will extinct. Neither do I think that people will not need us. They don't come to us because they don't see us helping them. By people are able to send information to us through WhatsApp. We can get them the feedback and send them to sites they can get their research materials on. I think it will really, really help us. So for us here, someone was saying that we don't really have services for the blind. It's not entirely so. We here have done something like that so that even though we don't have blind students, we have them to benefit if they are to come here. We don't have anybody in wheelchair on campus, but we have that facility ready in case they do come. I want to mention that as my submission. Let us be proactive, and I think that will help us a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you see that I'm showing you another screen. This one says they have access to 1,078,000 open access research theses from 570 universities in 29 European countries. But you see, as you have been watching, do you realize this place? What is happening here? Do you realize that they are adding up more contents? So you see that this changes, it keeps changing, it keeps going up. So this is also another platform that's available for people to have access to information. So again, I ask if you want to hide our own and keep it under lock and key, and people get to know that these are there, that are online, they are open, they are free. Where are we going to be in the next few years? People will stay in their homes and do the things they want to do, get access to research, and not even think about getting out of the library, getting out of their homes or comfort zones to visit the library. So it is gradually going there. COVID made us aware of what could happen. So we now need to all begin to look at moving from hard copies all the time to creating content that will be accessible from everywhere within our community and outside the community as well. If you want to be seen to be active, we need to be going out to the platforms where we will get our students and our clients. We need to guide them to the good areas where they can get credible information, authentic sources where they can get information that has come from peer review and stuff like that. So we have a lot of work to do. And so we must begin to get out of our comfort zone. We must begin to stop thinking like the old times where you sit behind your desk and wait for people to come to you and ask for books. People are not coming to, they are not going to come to you to ask for books. They don't want books again. They want to be reading from their platforms. They want to be accessing information from anywhere they are. So we must begin to also put ourselves in that same situation. We must prepare our minds, our mindsets. We must change our work ethics. We must begin to look at moving from hard things to soft copies of things and begin to, if we have to re-educate ourselves, we need to do that. We need to re-educate ourselves to be able to handle our needs, the needs of our clients now as the situation might demand. That is where the librarians, I have a challenge with the library association as one, the library school as number two. There must be a connection between the two. The library association must be able to sort of guide the library school as to what they want them to do, because they are out there practicing and they know the needs and the requirements of the market. They should be able to give a feedback to the library school so that they also change their way of delivering their content. So the students that come out of that place will not become sort of handicapped, but they will be readily available and prepared to meet the market demands. So I think we want to thank all of you for your presence here, for your contributions, and for the support. Let's continue to dialogue. Let's continue to make our contributions. Let's continue to make impact. I once again want to invite all of you to look at the invitation for the general conference and to be looking out for invitations to attend or present papers for other conferences as well from AAU. You see the content moving. You see that they're adding more, and anytime they add more, it moves up. So now the number is 1,078,384. I'm sure if you come back tomorrow, this number will have changed because everything that is being loaded now will be reviewed, and then if they are accepted, by the time we come tomorrow, the number will have changed. And so people are adding up. Let us begin to create our own and add up to the content that we are seeing. I think at this point, I would like Dr. Plockley to say a last word, and then we will end our meeting.
Can I ask a small question?
Okay.
I want to ask how the invitation for this particular meeting, how was it sent and who were supposed to have it? Because where I got it from, I don't belong to that category. But it is the meeting has been very good to me, has been very useful. So since we are all librarians with different how do you call it, positions or how do I call it? We must share things. We must belong to one. That stratification where a senior member will have to go here and then listen to this one. Some will go and come and share. Some will not share. So why not all of us? So the next meeting, I wish this one will come off again, and then the link is shared through a common platform where we can all link up and then learn. Thank you.
So, Mr. What's the name? Bernard.
Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. Bernard, please, which library are you, please?
University of Education, Winneba.
University of Education, Winneba, yes. So I send the link to your boss, Mr. Boe, to share with the staff members. So I believe you had it over. At least I personally shared with him to share with his staff members. And also GLA was also sharing it. And we're so many platforms. We encourage people to also share with their other colleagues and all that. So I believe when you also had it, you share it with other people. Or you also kept it to yourself.
I don't want to lie. I had it when the meeting was ongoing, so okay. I just joined straight.
Okay, good. Okay. We are sorry, but I think we don't have your numbers individually, so we gave it to your bosses to share.
So another challenge thrown to Dr. Banji, the library, the GLA. We should have they should have a catalog of all the practicing library staff. This time not librarians, so library staff.
You have to join. Maybe you have not joined. Join and pay your dues.
Because we also try to share with the Ghana Library Association platform.
Maybe if you are paying.
But that's also another way, that's another indictment on the Library Association, because it means they are not doing their outreach very well. They should be doing outreach to make sure they are getting all members, all practicing professionals within the country to be part of the membership and to be paying their dues. So it means that
I think this issue goes a little bit deeper. As Dr. Plucky said, maybe the membership and all that is a bit questionable. So maybe we can have a different platform to discuss
those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we want to thank you all very much. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's see how we can improve our platforms. Let's make our impact be felt within our institutions as knowledge managers. As I prefer to call people now, I try to call the librarians knowledge managers. I don't want to be referring to them as librarians again. Library is old school. Now we have knowledge managers, especially professionals. Thank you all for being here. At this point, we want to end our meeting for the day.
Thank you all and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.